Okay, so Julian, we have about 95% of businesses failing in the first 5 years, apparently. How do you sustain yourself? How do you sustain yourself against all those major players?
Right, I'm really glad you asked me that, because that statistic is the reason, and part of the reason why I wrote my book, Entrepreneur to Ultrapreneur, 100 Ways to Up Your Game. It's because I believe that the current way in which entrepreneurship is viewed and practiced is critically flawed. And quite a bold statement, but the fact is, and the fact still remains, that, as you say, 95% of businesses and entrepreneurs that start up fail, right? And that number has been bandied about for a number of years, and it's almost as if we're okay with it. So what happens to the 95% of people that fail? I mean, what happens, right? Where do they go? What happens to the economy? And I just thought to myself, you know what? Entrepreneurs are, and whether it's in the UK or the Caribbean or anywhere in the world, are more necessary than ever before, right? In order to, you know, take us out of this kind of global downturn. We can't just rely on the governments, rely on the big businesses. It's going to be the small businesses, it's going to be the entrepreneurs that really herald that change and really drag us out of that kind of muck and mire. Now, in looking at it and thinking, okay, well, if that's the case, if the current model of entrepreneurship is broken, why is it broken? So, you know, I had a look at, really went and kind of dug into my own experiences, and not just my experiences, my observations of entrepreneurs and small businesses over the last kind of 20 years. And I realized that it's because of a number of things. And, you know, there's 100 different ideas that I've come up with, which I believe, if followed, will reduce that 95% down considerably. Some of the key aspects, however, and one of the underlying kind of ideas of ultrapreneurship. So ultrapreneurship is, the root word is ultra, which means beyond. Ultra simply means beyond. Entrepreneurship is really, the root word is kind of entre or enterprise. And enterprise is generally associated with money and profits and things of this nature, which is fine. However, if going back to my earlier statement, in that most entrepreneurs fail, I believe, because they're just focusing on generating money here and now. They're not thinking about value. They're not thinking about building a brand. They're not thinking about, you know, building an audience, creating a niche. They're not thinking about all of those, what I would call assisting elements to enterprise. They're not thinking about that. A lot of them burn relationships with their friends, their families. They don't take care of their health, physical or mental well-being. And what they don't realize is that negating all of that, all of those assisting elements will make you, will contribute to you not achieving, right? So if we look at football, right, or basketball, the striker who scores the goal, it's not all he's doing. The rest of the team played a part in creating the environment for him to score that goal, right? It's a similar thing with entrepreneurship. And I've noticed, because I've spent a lot of time around startup businesses who have a penny in their pocket, all the way up to multi-millionaire businesses, right? Just recently, in the last few weeks, you know, having a meeting, and I was just having a one-on-one with an entrepreneur who started his business with $50,000, and it's now worth $2 billion, right? And the difference you find with the successful entrepreneurs is that they consider all aspects of their life, right? They take a balanced view of their life, and they don't just focus on making money when the next pound or pence is coming in. They realize that having a balanced outlook and taking a balanced view to whether it's, again, their health, their well-being, their family, their friends, all of these things actually makes them a better business person, actually makes them a better entrepreneur. Now, what happens is the startup entrepreneur believes that I'll get to all of that once I've made money. And the entrepreneur who's already made money, you find that, you know, they'll go for a spa, they'll have a little break here, they'll spend time with their family, and then, you know, they might do some business on the beach or whatever. That's the image that we have. So we think you can only do those things, you can only have a balanced approach once you've made it, quote unquote, right? But the opposite is true, right? You need to take a balanced approach from day one.
Day one.
Yeah? Take a balanced approach from day one. And it may take longer for you to achieve success,
Yeah.
but it's more sustained. That's the difference.
Right, because it's balanced.
It's balanced. It's not about, it's easy to start a business and then to rock it and then explode and crash and burn.
Yeah.
There are many examples of that happening, right? Lots of businesses that set up, and then you wonder, what happened to that business down the road? What happened to those guys that set up the business? They crashed and burned because what happened was they made the money, but then they might have fallen out because their relationship was going down the tubes, or you know, you hear a lot of them get ill, end up in the hospital. They have a broken marriage. Their kids go off the rails, whatever it might be. Stuff that impacts them, their ability to perform as a businessman and an entrepreneur. But stuff that we just never hear about, you know. But having all of those in perspective, I believe, is the key element in helping you to become a balanced, successful, and sustained entrepreneur and business person.
Brilliant. Yes, I totally agree. Okay, we have buzzwords going out there in the industry, such as, I know that the key thing what people are putting out there is it's time to merge, it's time to collaborate, it's time to partner, particularly if you're a startup business and you've been probably going for maybe 2-3 years and you're struggling, and then there's someone that has sort of similar synergy to what you're doing. Would you say it's a good thing to collaborate with that person, to partner or to merge? Well, what's your views on that, Julian?
I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today with a smile on my face if I didn't do that early on in my business. Partnering, doing joint ventures was absolutely key. It was vital. And it was the linchpin of my success, I would say. And, you know, it wasn't solely down to me. It was down to me putting really smart people around me, really smart businesses who were excellent at what they did, and we collaborated. There was stuff that I was good at that I helped them with. There was stuff that they were good at that they helped me with. We shared networks, we shared business, all that kind of stuff. And that was, I cannot overstate how important that was for me. And I actually, you know, I've got a portfolio of about 6 .com and mobile companies which are live and 2 which are in development. And the only way that I could do that is through partnerships. You know, I wouldn't be able to do that. It would be impossible for me to do that on my own. But I'm able to realize a portfolio of that magnitude almost because I work in partnership with people. And the reason why I'm able to do that is because I recognize what it is I'm good at, and I recognize what it is I'm not good at.
That's right.
Right? I don't, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs that set out, you know, they just think that they're good at everything, they can do everything themselves. That is not the case. You might be able to do everything, but just to a mediocre standard. It's about recognizing, okay, what is it that you are actually really good at? And that might take you some time to work out, and that's fine. But you've got to work out at some point, what is it that you're the best at? Right? What is it that you can do that almost no one else can do? Because everybody has that thing, right? But you've got to find out what that is. Once you've got that thing, and you are able to articulate what that is, people will want to work with you. People will seek you out, look for your help, because they'll realize, actually, I need that in my business. I need that to start. I need that to grow.
Fantastic.
And that's where partnerships really, really work well.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful words, and it's so vital, so true. You know, there's no point putting yourself out there on your own and struggling. If you have someone there that likes what you do, and you both can find a way of meeting each other halfway and complementing each other, then, you know, it's time to partner. What's a genius, Julian? What's a genius?
So there's a saying that necessity is the mother of all invention. However, and that's fine, but many of the most revolutionary technologies that we've come across in the last 10 years, Google, eBay, Facebook, the iPhone, those didn't come about through necessity. They came about, I believe, through genius. So I have a saying, which is genius is the father of all invention. And that's to suggest that we no longer have to wait until we are at the dire straits of necessity before we innovate or invent. Yeah. So what's happening now, innovation has become a buzzword because we're in a recession. Why did we have to wait for a recession to become innovative or to become entrepreneurial? It's ridiculous. It shows a lack of foresight. Yeah. But that saying, necessity is the mother of invention, has come about because the typical human being only waits until there's a dire situation at their door before they become inventive. My suggestion is that And I believe that there is a genius inside of everybody, right? So everybody has a natural talent that makes that thing that they're able to do shine, and probably better than tens of thousands of other people on the planet, right? And that is their genius.
Yes.
But the challenge is finding what that is within you.
Yeah.
And that genius will allow you to be inventive, to be creative, to be innovative, not just in an entrepreneurial sense, but just in your own life, in general. And it's almost that hidden strength, that hidden power that we need to call upon when we're in a bad place.
Absolutely.
So that's really where that idea of genius comes from. And it's something that once people are aware of it, sometimes that's enough of a seed for them to at some point
bounce back.
Yeah, bounce back. But the awareness is the first step in to being progressive about anything. You've got to be aware of it. You've got to acknowledge it, right, before you can do something about it. And I just think a lot of people go around life thinking, I'm nothing special, I'm never gonna achieve the things I want to achieve, entrepreneurial or otherwise, and it's just not the case. There needs to be an awareness that, or the suggestion that actually there is something special about you. There's something special about everybody. And whether you might call that genius, you might call that the spirit of God inside you, you might, whatever it is, but there is that thing. And, you could do a lot worse than spend your life working out what that thing is and then using it to, not just to benefit you, because the whole point is that that thing will not just benefit you, but it will benefit everyone around you.
Wow, that's powerful, powerful stuff, powerful stuff. You've got a genius inside of you. Everyone's got a genius inside of you. And that genius, that when you tap into it, it's not only going to benefit you, it's going to benefit, impact and influence everyone around you. Okay, Julian, we've got a question from the talk chat room. Do you have any mentors? Do you want to name a few, or is that secret society business? Or do you have a mentor? And then, if somebody wanted you to mentor them, I mean, what's the process, or do you welcome that, etc.?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I mean, as part of my business, I'm an author, speaker, a consultant, but I also mentor, I coach people. I coach individuals, around the world. So just go to my website, contact me. It's easy to find. If you Google my name, I'm the first one that comes up. If you Google Ultrapreneur, if you Google the online genius, I'm not difficult to get hold of. Okay, and
just before you do you want to tell everyone your website address?
Yeah, so it's www.julianhall.co.uk.
Okay, and how can we get your books, Julian?
If you, again, go to my website, there's a link that says books. You'll see both my books on there. If you go to Amazon and you...
See Paulette there, oh wow.
If you go to Amazon and just type in my name, my books will come up. But again, a quick Google search.
Julian Hall.
I'm easy to find.
www.julianhall.co.uk. His name will come up. Julian, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
It's been a
total honour. Believe me, your words are powerful.
Thank you.